Greetings. Well, what a mess, huh? Anybody else out there being affected by the gasoline pipeline shutdown, hacking? We're not seeing it here. Hasn't really hit Hawaii, but of course, gasoline in Hawaii is always over $3 a gallon, so we wouldn't notice anyhow. I mean, considering that I only own one vehicle that runs on gas, the other one's electric, and a lot of my power tools are now electric. We charge them from the sun. I haven't noticed this much, except I watch the news. I'm seeing it, and it ticks me off. I imagine there's some of you out there who've been to 8 different gas stations trying to fill up a car who are kind of upset about all of this. I wouldn't blame you at all. As far as the dark side hackers are concerned, they claim, well, we're only in it for the money. Well, my suggestion to you guys is go get a regular job for a paycheck where you don't have to tick off half of the United States of America. Boy, if I were you, I wouldn't show up in a bar in North Carolina and try to get a beer right now. Yeah, get a regular job. As far as the hacking that goes on when people just do it to be malicious and to create problems for other people without even any financial benefit. Now, I guess I understand why somebody holds hostage for a paycheck. They want money, I understand money, right? I understand that. I don't approve of it or like it, but I understand it. As far as people who just maliciously hack into something and screw it up just, because they can do it, this is a sad, sick person. I'm sorry for people who engage in that kind of stuff. Fortunately, it looks like we're going to be seeing more and more and more and more stuff like this. And whether it's orchestrated by the Russians, or whether or wherever it's coming from, you can expect it. Boy, I even heard that the pipeline company actually paid the ransom on this stuff in Bitcoin, but then I just heard that Bitcoin just plummeted because of what Elon Musk had to say about he isn't going to accept it anymore for payment on his cars. I don't know. It's all weird, but I suppose you're all asking yourself, well, what the heck has this got to do with gardening? I thought this is the Green Garden Guys channel. Well, it does, kind of. Because it's one of those days where I'd like to talk about sustainability again, which I have talked about many times before. I've talked about being a producer instead of a consumer, so that you're on the other end of the equation. You'll gain the benefits rather, than all the liabilities. Well, we're back there again, because this is one excellent reason why Americans who can manage to develop a more sustainable living situation within their own domicile and their own property. Okay, this is a time when it looks pretty smart. I mean, I didn't get involved in what I do here because I was worried about the world collapsing. Okay, no, it's not the way. As my great grandparents always said, you can't make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. I guess that's an old German Czech expression or something, but come from the old country, I'll bet. But basically, it's hard to make something good out of something that starts off that's not so good. That's a reasonable approach to life, and as far as my sustainable living situation that I'm in, I'm not here because I was worried about Armageddon. I'm not here because I'm seeing the end times coming. I'm not doing this because I'm a prepper. No, I'm not a survivalist. All right, I do this because, in my way of thinking, this is the smart and intelligent way for a human being to live. It's a satisfying and good way. A whole lot of why I grow food. Why do I grow food? I grow food because the food I have here is generally higher quality, tastier, and less toxic, not as dangerous as a lot of the food you will find sold in the markets, grown commercially. You know, if it isn't E. coli contamination, salmonella contamination on things, pesticide residues, herbicide residues, unsanitary packaging conditions. I mean, there's so many things. It's not to say that I mean, I do purchase food too. You know, I get stuff occasionally in cans and bottles. You know, there's a can of paste picante in the kitchen over there. It could kill me, I guess. It's Ellen's salsa. I like to make my own fresh from the garden, but you know, she likes that, and it's you know, we do it too. But to me, most of what we bring in from outside are things that are either almost impossible for me to produce any other way, like my Chevy Bolt, which I love very much. I like my car, and I wouldn't have been building one from scratch. That ain't gonna happen. So I bought it from Chevy. So there's all kinds of exchange going on here. But when it comes to my food, quality of what I grow here, the varieties that I use, I choose them not for storage qualities or to throw against a wall. I choose them because they're delicious and they grow well in the environment. So, gardening is a sustainable type situation. We do this and we make our lives more stable when we produce our own food. We have fruit orchards and citrus and apples and potatoes and callow and all this good stuff that grows around us. It makes life stable. I don't need to get in the car and drive on down to the market to find something that I can eat for dinner. I just walk out into the yard. It's right there. The same goes with this gasoline pipeline thing. Currently, I still own one gas car, and I have a few gas power tools, yes, too. Although I have been converting, one car is electric, and most of my tools are now electric, and we're using the sun, which today there isn't very much of. As you can hear, it's raining out there, and I'm getting damp on the back of my neck. I must be a little too far out. Yeah, so we're using the sun here for our solar system to produce the energy that we use to run most of our tools, all of our appliances in the house, all of my internet stuff and the video equipment. It's all powered. This camera is powered by the sun. As well as the car. We have the one gas car yet, and right now I do believe that we're in a transitional period where having one electric and one gas-powered car is probably a very desirable situation. We don't yet have enough chargers across the United States. Soon we probably will, but for now they're a little bit limited, and so I have to be careful where I'm going with that electric car, and how far away I'm going, and can I charge it when I get there, and that kind of thing. Most of the driving we do with it is between here and Hilo at 25 miles one way, and we get the charger here at the house. Just plug it in when we get home, car charges back up. So it's very convenient. But most of you don't have those luxuries. Electric cars are still relatively new. Home charging systems that run on the sun are very new. Okay, we're heading there. This is going to happen. And I'm encouraging everybody, really looking at what's gone on with how our systems are so vulnerable that people, they have not built the security into many of the public distribution networks. God knows what's going to be next. It could be a nuclear reactor, I don't know, train switching, you name it. I don't know what somebody's going to hack into and try to mess up next. But they will. Yeah, it's the day and age. And it's going to affect each and every one of you, and including it may affect me too. So I advocate more independent living, more sustainable situations, gaining control of most of the things that you need as a human being in order to survive, and having them so that they're under your management, not being so dependent within a system. There's nothing wrong with utilizing the system, But in my opinion, utilizing it should be an option, and you're doing it because it works better for you that way, not because you have to do that. There's the difference right there. I do believe that most of you feel you actually have to be part of all of this, and that's not really true. I will often say that I live on the same planet with everybody else, but I don't live in the same world. It has to do with the way you think about stuff and the way you approach things. What's important to you? You can have really almost anything, at least in this country, if it's something that you really feel that needs to happen. There's a passion behind it. If you have enough reason, you will make it happen. I know you will make it happen because you're human, just like I am. And if I get something under my skin, I'm going to keep going at it till I get it worked out. That's kind of what all this here is about. Everybody loves watching Bill's videos out here sitting in front of the vanilla orchids, with the sound of the rain and the birds and the frogs out there on this little rainy island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, well separated from most of the rest of the planet. Yeah. People like to come in here and watch this stuff. I've told that. Sometimes I think it's the main reason some people do. Well, what you're looking at is the way Bill lives. I live this way because I thought this is the right way. That's all. Silk Purse Salzair. I see an awful lot of folks today who are now trying to come here. There's, a massive amount of real estate suddenly being bought up here in Hawaii. I believe mostly by people from the mainland. It's really accelerating fast. And I think it's mostly because, people are scared. They see Hawaii as kind of an isolated spot away from so much of this. And it is. And there's a lot about the culture here that makes this a good place to be right now. So much about the culture here, the caring that people have for other people here, how we understand we're all on this little rock together. Yeah, and the ocean surrounding us is what sustains us. We have responsibilities. We have kuleana to all of us, to each other, to the land, to the ocean, to the animals, to the people. It's not so much me. Take off your mask. All this BS. No, don't see too much of it here. As you can hear, we get enough rainfall to usually grow a crop of corn without irrigating. I got enough chickens wandering in and out of this place. I could make soup all week long with a pellet gun. Pigs are everywhere. You have to work hard to keep them out of your stuff. Living sustainably here in Hawaii is not that hard. It's not that hard. Depends what you're willing to put up with. And if we ever got cut off out here from the barges and the boats and the airplanes, and we'd be eating a lot of poi. Yeah. There'd be a lot of things that would change. A lot of things. But again, I have attempted to try to set my system up here so that I still have the creature comforts of technology and, digital communication and transportation and all the things that we're used to as Americans in the 21st century, but by disconnecting it from the support network that's out there, that all the corporate and social systems that hold all of this together, they're useful, but they're not necessary, not all of them, especially the ones that have you by the short and skinnies, like the power companies, the gas companies, it's a lot of that. When you gain your own control, gain control over your own economy by investing, by setting up a website, creating a cottage industry, going into business for yourself, so that you're setting up economies that are operating inside the national economy. Um, Sort of like Germany operating within the EU's economy in a way, that each and every one of us were focused on the personal requirements for survival of our families, the groups we live with, our Ohanas, whoever it is, they're just friends or relatives or children or what, for the people that are, under the roof. If we set ourselves up so that food is available, so that water is naturally available, so that energy is naturally available. I mean, these are the big ones. If you got food, water, and energy, you can do an awful lot, You can extend beyond that. There's more that you can do for yourself, too. But those are the main ones, that and the development of an economy that is sustainable, too. It's the same. There isn't any difference. You plant economic seeds, you plant carrot seeds. They all eventually come to fruition, or the bugs eat it all. That happens sometimes, but not most of the time. Most of the time you get a crop of carrots or you get a bundle of cash out of it. So anyway, I just thought it was a good time to talk about sustainable living, because I'm sure there are some people out there today waiting in lines trying to get a gallon of gas who really wish they didn't have to be in that situation. And you don't have to be. That's what's important. And again, not from a selfish viewpoint or a viewpoint of fear, oh, the world will end if I don't. No. Can't make a silk purse from a sow's ear, folks. You want to start with something, start with a good idea. Start with an idea that's positive, one that graces your life, one that helps the other people that are around you, something that is good for the planet. If you take the approach starting from a positive place to jump off on your projects, I think you'll find you're going to get more help. There's going to be more energy behind you. You definitely will get more push behind positive ideas than you're going to find behind ideas that are driven by fear and anxiety, because a lot of the folks I see trying to make positive changes are being driven by negative things, and I don't know how well that works. So try to figure a hook you can hang some of this stuff on that benefits the greatest good. Yeah. What a chump, right? Aloha. Hang loose, folks.